Have you ever taken a picture of yourself and then spent an hour picking out all the flaws in that picture that you find and then think to yourself, I bet nobody else is gonna notice this. I am just too hard on myself. Well, if you've ever wondered if other people notice, thanks to TikTok, now we know that they do. Hey, my name is Emma. I crochet and I knit, and I also like to talk about just stuff that I notice, and there's been something that's been really bothering me lately, and that is people's urge to just comment on other people's appearance, not necessarily just on their appearance, but feel the need to tell them what they personally would change about their face, their body, their clothes that they wear, the way that they do their makeup. There is this insatiable urge that people seem to have to want to make people their personal little Sims and change them to fit their desires. And this is something that I first started noticing on celebrities, and it kind of just trickled down into normal people, and it became so normalized among the celebrity world, the celebrity culture, that I feel like people just started thinking like, yeah, this is something everybody wants, right? And the thing is, I don't even think celebrities want that. A lot of people argue when people will like Photoshop celebrities to like switch up their hair and their makeup or whatever, and they'll be like, well, this is what they signed up for. This is what they signed up for. They're a celebrity. Personally, and I know this is controversial potentially, I think they signed up to sing or act or dance or write or do whatever it is that they're famous for, probably not for a 16-year-old to yassify their face into unrecognizability on Twitter. I was trying to find some photos for like the thumbnail of this to like kind of, you know, grip people into what I'm kind of talking about, and I thought, oh, it's gonna take me a while to kind of search for these. I found these photos within literally 5 seconds of opening a random social media app. I opened up Instagram and I opened up Lemonade, which is kind of a cesspool right now. I joined it recently. It's a whole different story, but I joined that recently and I was like, ew, I don't like this. But my point is, it took almost 0 seconds of searching, 0 seconds of research to find photos of people photoshopping women into different versions of themselves that they think would be better. And I know you might say, well, if that's the kind of stuff that you look at, of course you're gonna get pushed that. I don't interact with that content. I purposefully scroll away. I hit not interested. I don't interact with stuff like that. And it is pushed to me non-stop. Color seasons, body types, what is flattering for your face shape, it is just all uncalled for. And it's all unnecessary. And so I will admit, I did start going on this spiral a little bit because I got a TikTok comment that was an unsolicited comment of something that they think I should change. And it wasn't that serious. I don't think it was too ill-intentioned, but I think it was just kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back because I get so many of them. And I'm not famous. I'm just a regular normal person who has a TikTok and a YouTube and an Instagram. Like I'm not Ariana Grande. No fucking way. And it just kind of made me not be able to stop thinking about how people are just way too comfortable doing this to strangers. Not too long ago, that term looks maxing started trending on mostly TikTok. I saw a lot of people talking about how can I looks max? How can I turn myself into the hottest version of myself possible? Which I feel like a lot of girls who are using this term probably weren't aware that it originated from incels. People who literally hate women and do whatever they can to degrade women made up this term to degrade women, and then women started using it to try and make themselves look better for the people who hate them. Is that not so insane? I feel like if a lot of people knew where this term originated, they probably wouldn't be using it as much, but unfortunately there's always nuance lost in the sauce. So this just kind of morphed into like a bunch of different trends about people trying to like look their best, and I think the one that kind of took off the most was where a girl would post just like a video of herself, of her face, and she'd be like, what should I change? What should I change about my face to look better? And this, unfortunately, I feel like was just a lot of really young girls who have not grown into their faces yet, who have not grown into their bodies yet, who need to experiment with makeup and clothes to figure out who they are, but instead they're posting their faces to millions of people on TikTok for a video to blow up and have a bunch of people tell them what they think they should change. And I just think that it's really sad, but this trend kind of took off and it kind of never went away, and that's where a lot of these comments started coming from. I started to notice unsolicited comments in random people's comment sections of being like, oh, you would look better this way, or you would look better this way, even when they don't ask. And not to be Carrie Bradshaw for a second, but I couldn't help but wonder if these unsolicited comments about what they would change about your face from a random person across the world has anything to do with the rising plastic surgery that's going on with young people. I'll admit this isn't like a very highly researched video essay. This is just kind of me spewing my thoughts about how disturbing I think this whole thing is into the world, but I did look up the plastic surgery rates and numbers to see like what has changed, and I found from the American Society of Plastic Surgery that the amount of people getting plastic surgery, women, went up by 73% from 2019 to 2022. That is not even factoring in the 2023-2024 numbers, and I feel like if you've been on social media in these last 2 years, there is visibly a difference in young women with Botox, with fillers, young women who are getting plastic surgery before their frontal lobe even develops. And don't come at me and be like, that's pseudoscience. You know what I mean. I'm using it as like a term of like before they are grown up, before their brains are like, you know, more developed than being 21 or 22. That same article that I read said that there was also a spike in patients under the age of 30, which sucks. That sucks. And I feel like we just can't ignore that this trend of telling people what we think is wrong with them without anybody asking. Even if they ask, we should be like, no, you're beautiful, you don't need that. This unsolicited advice, these comments have played a role in building insecurities to the point where people feel like there is something so wrong with them that they need a procedure, that they need to change. Like, I just want to bring back one of those pictures I put in the thumbnail for a second. This Dua Lipa one, who is that woman? Who is that woman on the other side of her? Just a few simple changes and you'll be beautiful. What changes? That is not the same person. And then I feel like we're even seeing this plastic surgery so much that people are starting to deny the fact that it's even surgery. When Lindsay Lohan first started debuting, dare I say, her new face, that is not the same face she used to have. And this is not me judging her for getting said plastic surgery, but when she started like going to red carpets after getting her surgery, so many people were trying to deny the fact that she did it. Even though she herself did not deny that there was plastic surgery, so many people were like, no, that's just from drinking water. That's just from good skincare. That's just from getting sober. And absolutely, can drinking a lot of water, getting sober, and having good skincare like affect your skin and make you look younger? Sure. Totally, it's gonna make you glow. But there is a level of glow that can only be achieved by hundreds of thousands of dollars from the best surgeons in Hollywood. And sometimes I get worried that we're starting to think that like that is just something that naturally comes to you. And I'm worried it's going to impact the way that girls perceive themselves as they're getting older. Because I can already tell that we're so fucking afraid of aging from the shit that I see online. Back to the unsolicited comments for a second though. There's a new trend as well that you've probably seen if you've been on TikTok in the last couple of days, where people will post a photo of themselves and be like, I hate this picture. And then the next slide will be like, you probably didn't even notice that my eyes were crooked. Or, I hate this picture. You probably didn't even notice my hair was messy. And while I think this started with good intentions, there is no good way that this could have gone, because it very quickly turned into people being like guessing what the insecurity was gonna be, and the comments were like, yes, I guessed that her arms were fat. Yes, I guessed that her nose was huge. Like, it's insane. And while the trend seemed good-hearted in nature, it definitely was not structured well. I feel so bad for the people who may have like started this trying to be like a positive force, and people just immediately were like, I knew it. I knew it. I guessed it. I guessed that you hate your nose. It's not funny. It's not funny. I'm sorry. But that just brings me back to, is this a flaw in the trend? Yes. But has social media kind of programmed us to feel like we have to then comment and point out this flaw that we noticed? Yeah, it's desensitizing people to feel like, yes, I should be telling this person what I notice is wrong with them. And then if you go away from this trend, I feel like you notice this in random people's comment sections no matter what. It'll be a girl who's kind of like just doing her makeup, talking about her day, and somebody will be like, you're so pretty, but you would look so good if you tried just like a little bit of filler right here. You are so pretty, but I feel like you'd really benefit from dyeing your hair. Which brings me into what compelled me to even make this today. I was making a video on TikTok where I talked about how a lot of times when I post things that I crochet and knit, it baffles me that people try and accuse me of not making it, which is insane to me, because I'll post progress videos, you'll see the top with no sleeves, whatever. I was just saying, like, it's very funny to me that people try and accuse me of not making the things that I made. And somebody commented, oh my god, you're so pretty, but you should try tinting your brows and getting a lash lift. And maybe in a moment of weakness, I did make a response to it, just saying like, this is an inside thought. You didn't need to tell me this. You can keep this to yourself. And like I said earlier, I do think this was just like the last straw for me, simply because I've gotten so many unsolicited comments randomly telling me to dye my hair, to cut my hair, to lose weight, to gain weight, to invest in some filler in my lips or in my cheeks to lift my face, or like jaw filler, and I'm just sick of it. I got so sick of it, and for some reason this one was the one that just like put me over the edge. And some people were like, this is so much more lighthearted than suggesting filler or Botox or a nose job. Like this is just a lighthearted suggestion on how to make you look better. And I think that no matter what the suggestion is, if somebody did not ask for that suggestion, you don't need to make it. I think any suggestion that you would make unsolicited to somebody about how you would change their appearance is unwarranted, uncalled for, and unnecessary. Granted, most people seem to agree with me on this, so thank you, I appreciated that. The person who made the comment stated that they did this because they're a girl's girl, which I'm not even gonna open the can of worms about girl's girl and how much is wrong with that term and people using it wrong, but this isn't even close to what it would be used for, even when the people do use it wrong, but they think they're using it right. Whew. But that's because they're a girl's girl, and because there was a trend at one point where people would ask what they think they should change, so they thought that because of that, they should tell me what they think I should change. And that is what really just like set this off in my head of like, oh my god, the long-lasting impacts of these like incel started trends of people asking what they would change to look better for the patriarchy, god damn it, has like infiltrated itself into people's minds all of these months, maybe even a year later, where they're going into random people's comments and saying what they would change without them asking, on a video of them talking about how they're so good at crocheting that people don't even believe that they did it themselves. No, I kid. To me, the concept of somebody thinking that because that trend existed at one point to go to somebody who never participated in it and never asked for it and like give them your advice or opinion is just so wild. It's so wild how comfortable we are with this. I personally think that the rule of thumb with comments should be if you wouldn't say it to somebody's face, you wouldn't say it in their comments, right? And I made this point, to which this person said, I would absolutely say this to your face. And a couple other people were like, I would totally say that to your face. And here's the thing, I don't think you would. I think people are all talk when they say, I'd totally say this to someone's face. You know why? I go out, I do things. I'm a very, very social person, and I'm somebody who likes to talk to people all the time, strangers. I like to talk to strangers when I go out with my friends. I like to talk to strangers at the coffee shop, at the bookstore. I'm a conversational person, and if somebody is making conversation with me, I will engage. I'm not somebody who's really like, fuck off. And I know that people wouldn't say this to my face because I've had people compliment my appearance in person. I've had people tell me that they think I'm pretty in person. I've had the most obliterated, drunk, hammered people compliment me, but nobody ever has said that they think that I should get like lip filler or a brow lift or an eyelash lift or a nose job. Nobody in person has said that to me, but I get those comments on the internet every day. So if people are secretly thinking this as much as the internet inclines us to think that they do, they're not saying it out loud. They're not saying it to people's face. I have yet to meet somebody who has said that to my face in my 25 years of life. So I simply don't believe that people actually would. Like, could you imagine? Could you imagine going out to dinner and somebody comes up to you and they're like, oh my god, you are so pretty, you're gorgeous. And you're like, oh my god, thank you. And they're like, but you're like 85% there. Maybe like a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Oh my god, just a couple procedures and you're golden. You wouldn't do that because people in real life know that that's fucking rude, that is not normal. It's just about being polite and being appropriate. There are certain social boundaries that just like exist, and they exist for a reason, okay? Literally the only scenario I would ever even comment at all on something like this is if a super, super close friend was like, do you think I should do blah, blah, blah? And my answer would probably 100% be no, because I don't think my friend should change anything about themselves. I think they're gorgeous. But maybe if one of my friends was like, do you think I should dye my hair brown? Or do you think I should go blonde? And I'd be like, yeah, why not? You should go blonde. But I'd never go up to her and be like, you're really pretty, but you look so much prettier blonde. You just don't do that. If somebody did that to me in real life, I would be like, fuck off. There'd be no conversation. We are not Sims. People that you encounter in real life on the internet, whatever, are not your little dolls to pick and choose what you would like to change with them. Honestly, a lot of times when people are growing up or just living life in general, they're gonna go through phases of something that doesn't totally suit them, that they're gonna realize later that like they loved it in that moment, but maybe their mind has changed, or they want to do something else, or something that makes them feel better. But in that moment, they were doing what they did because it made them feel super confident. And I can attest to that. Back when I was in high school, I did Kylie Jenner, pomade, Anastasia, brows, okay? And I will give you a photo reference. I used to look back at that and be like, God, I wish somebody would have stopped me. I wish somebody would have stopped me. But in hindsight, I really don't. Because when I think about those days in high school, I felt really, really insecure with my brows because they were plucked super thin and they were super sparse, and I did not feel pretty at all. And not that being pretty is the most important thing in the world, obviously, and people should learn to be comfortable with their natural selves, but I was not. And I think that I had to go through that phase of doing that to get comfortable with myself. You have to live through the awkward phases sometimes. And who are you to tell somebody to like not? Who are you to deem what somebody's awkward phase is, or what like a phase in somebody's makeup or hair or style is anyway? And some people just don't want to look the way that the beauty standards of this world tell us that we're supposed to look. Some people want to look a little funky. Some people want to look a little scary. That's fun. I like that. I love when I see people who look super unique. I see people like do this all the time when they tell people that like their bleached brows look really bad. I think bleached brows look cool as fuck on like everybody that I've seen do them. And you know, maybe those people are gonna look back and be like, damn, that was a phase, but I'm glad I went through it. I'm not interested in what somebody would want to change about me, and I'm not interested in changing anything about other people at all. It's never once crossed my mind when I see somebody online or in person of like what I would do to change them. So thank you for watching. I know this is a little bit different than the normal content that I do. There is no crocheting, but I like to make short form content videos just about like my thoughts on things that are a little bit like thrown together last minute, incoherent. I just kind of wanted to try and do a YouTube video of like long form content in that similar style. It was a little bit more thought out and where I can kind of articulate myself a little bit better than in a 3-minute TikTok video, especially because I don't know if I'll be able to do that much longer, so I gotta get my thoughts out some way. Hopefully this rant was cathartic for somebody. I know it was for me. Hope you have a great day and you are absolutely beautiful, and don't let any weirdo on the internet tell you you're not.